All right, let's get right into it. Most of us get handed this financial map when we're young. Go to school, land a good job, save 10%, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get to retire rich when you're 65. But what if that map is just wrong? Today, we're going to tear up that traditional path. We're exploring a totally different route to wealth laid out in MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane.
The book just hits you with this question right away. And man, it's a gut punch. Think about it. Is the big prize of being wealthy when you're too old to really enjoy it even a prize worth winning? This one question just flips the script on that entire get rich slow idea that we're all told is the only safe way to go. So the whole idea here is that the promise of retiring rich at 65 isn't just slow. For most people, it's a losing game. It's a journey where you're forced to trade the best years of your life for a payoff that, honestly, isn't even guaranteed. And this is what that so-called safe journey looks like. You kick things off with a 9-to-5 right around 22. For the next 40-plus years, can you believe that? 40 years? You scrape together a little bit of your income, cross your fingers, and hope the stock market plays nice. And then finally, at 65, you get to retire rich. It's basically a 4-decade-long bet where you have almost zero control. For the author, this was a total game changer. It all started with one moment. He sees this young guy, probably in his 20s, driving a Lamborghini. He just had to know how. The answer he got? I'm an inventor. And that was it. That was the light bulb moment. You don't have to wait until you're old. Real incredible wealth could be created young, but you had to step outside the system. All right, so this leads us to the book's big idea. Its central metaphor. Wealth isn't just one path, it's a road trip. And there are 3 completely different roadmaps people follow, and you know what? Most of us don't even realize we've chosen one. So let's break them down. Okay, so this table just lays it all out super clear. You've got the sidewalker, whose motto is basically live for today, juggling income and debt. Then there's the slow laner, sacrificing today for some far-off tomorrow, banking on a job and the market. But the fast laner, totally different mindset. They build business systems for a rich today and a rich tomorrow, because they know time is the single most valuable thing they have. So let's zoom in on the slow lane for a minute, because let's be real, that's the one society pushes on us as safe. It's the default path for most of us. But here's the kicker. The book argues that this so-called safety is a complete illusion. When you look at the math, it's actually a super risky gamble. The big underlying problem with the slow lane is this concept the author calls uncontrollable limited leverage, or ULL for short. Think of it like a disease. It's uncontrollable because your financial fate is in the hands of your boss and the whims of the stock market. And it's limited because your income has a hard ceiling, your salary. You've no real control and no real leverage to create massive wealth. And this just nails the core issue, right? When your income depends on a job, you're trading your most precious, non-renewable resource, your time, for money. There are only 24 hours in a day, so you can't just create more time. You can't control your pay rate, and ultimately, your boss is the one getting rich off the value you create. You're selling your freedom Monday through Friday just to rent it back on the weekend. That's a rough deal. So you can see how this all boils down to 2 totally different ways of thinking, 2 totally different equations for wealth. On the left, you've got the slow lane. Wealth equals your job plus the stock market. Simple, but limited. But look at the fast lane equation. Wealth equals net profit plus asset value. See the difference? It's not a small change. It's a complete paradigm shift from being an employee to being a creator and an owner. Okay, so if the slow lane is a trap, what's the way out? Well, that brings us to the Fast Lane Expressway. It's a strategy built on a completely different foundation, designed for one thing, creating wealth and freedom fast. Honestly, the entire fast lane philosophy can be boiled down to this one critical shift in your thinking. You have to go from being a consumer to being a producer. Stop digging for gold, start selling the shovels. Stop taking the class, start teaching it. Instead of looking for a job, you create jobs. You become a source of value in the economy, not just someone who consumes it. And the engine that powers this whole thing, it's the complete opposite of that ULL we talked about. It's called controllable unlimited leverage, or CUL. It's controllable because you own the system, you're in the driver's seat, and it's unlimited because there's no ceiling on how big it can get. I mean, a website can serve 10 people or 10 million people, right? This is the secret sauce for exponential growth.
Let's circle back to that fast lane wealth equation because it's so powerful. It builds wealth in two ways at the same time. You've got net profit, that's the cash flow your business is spitting out and the money you live on. But then you have asset value, and that's the grand prize. That's what your entire system is worth if you decide to sell it. Okay, let me walk you through a quick example so you can see the raw power of this. Imagine you build a business, and after a few years of hard work, it's pulling in a cool $4 million a year in net profit. Now stay with me. In the business world, every industry has something called a multiplier. Think of it as a score that buyers use to figure out what a company is worth. For your industry, let's just say that number is 8. So you just do the simple math, $4 million in profit, times that multiplier of 8, and boom, your asset, your business, is now worth $32 million. That's how someone becomes a multimillionaire seemingly overnight. It wasn't overnight at all. It was years of focused work building that valuable asset. Okay, that sounds amazing, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you know if a business idea has fast lane potential? Well, the book gives us a really practical filter you can run any idea through. It's a super handy acronym, SENSE. Just ask yourself these 5 questions. First, control. Are you in the driver's seat or is someone else calling the shots? Entry, is it hard for someone to just come in and copy you tomorrow? Need, does your business solve a real pain point that people will gladly pay to fix? Time, can your business make money even when you're sleeping? And finally, scale, can it serve a city, a country, or the whole world? But here's something you gotta remember. Having the map, knowing the rules, that's just the start. The world is absolutely littered with amazing ideas. The real magic, the thing that separates the dreamers from the doers, is execution. It's about being committed, not just interested. So at the end of the day, this all comes down to a choice. The sidewalk, where you sacrifice your future for today. The slow lane, where you sacrifice today for a distant future. Or the fast lane, where you work intensely to build a system that serves you both today and tomorrow. So the real question isn't just which road are you on, it's which road will you choose to build.